Hello, welcome everyone. I have huge aspirations today, and I'm so thankful for you all spending today with me. I hope you all have a wonderful, exciting, memorable, adventurous, or relaxing weekend if that's what you're going for. It's raining here. The whole extended weekend for the locals on the East Coast has become a bit of a dud, so everyone's kind of hunkered in, but thank you for spending your time with me. Again, I have big aspirations here. One of the things I did last time, and I had a lot of fun with it, in particular because of the challenge, I actually really enjoyed trying on products. I don't know if you ever watched James Welsh. I find it enjoyable watching him try out products. Now I'm going to take it to another level. I'm going to be trying out products while I'm answering our questions. And then additionally, we'll have a chance to shop together. We're going to do that today for sure. SkinStore is going to help us out, hook us up. This is not a sponsored video, live, or whatever, but they are going to be gifting us some products, whatever we pick. I mean, for the most part, unless we find something extraordinarily unusual, but we can kind of pick it. And the goal here, what I want from this, I want you to pick your favorites. Like, I want you to see what you're interested in. They'll send them to me, and then we'll be able to take a look at them next time. And we'll just make this a recurring thing where we're going to take a look at some of your products that you either haven't bought yet or you love, your favorites. And that's why we put in the your favorite sunscreen into the community post as well. Like, I'm very interested in your feedback. I'm actually very interested in you all. And so when you told us your favorite sunscreens, by the way, killer list. Oh my gosh, amazing list of sunscreens. But we're consolidating that. We're going to get that. We're going to make a video about your favorite sunscreen together. Dr. Shaw and I, and if you're new, I'm Dr. Maxfield, board certified dermatologist, blah, 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 whatever. And then Dr. Shaw, he does not often do the lives with me. We're actually working on putting together some things collectively for this so we can both be a part of it. Because it is, I always say this too, joy is magnified when shared. And honestly, it's all just more fun when we do it together. So we will do that in the future. Also, we'll talk about a couple of things that's new. So new skincare, new products, new favorite products. And then, of course, Q&A kind of throughout this. I'll be answering some of your questions. And just so you know how I kind of go through the questions too, I'll jump back and forth between old questions, new questions. So don't think you have to spam the chat. I will be jumping back to questions that were asked earlier on, answering some of those. In addition, I'll be answering the new ones too. I think first, while people kind of roll in, I'll just take a look at the study. So I teased out, I'll be looking at new studies. I'm always reading. One of the studies that came out that I think is relevant for everybody, it's in this journal. There's a lot of good journals out there. This is one of the ones that has more cosmetics. JCAD is another one that has a lot of cosmetics. And they actually had a bit of overlap here, a lot. So sorry. Anyway, I was saying different formulations of tretinoin actually make a big difference. They actually help with both absorption, effectiveness, tolerability, whether it's microencapsulated, whether it's micronized. And then there are microspheres with lots of different combinations. So this is why we're seeing a lot better tolerated tretinoin. It's just a hero ingredient when we want different ways to make this work. And the reason that this is particularly important is because in the over-the-counter space, I'm starting to see this more replicated. They have now stabilized retinol, and it's just becoming more common. It was a thing before, but it's just becoming much more common. There's encapsulated retinol, and the question is, what does this mean? It's, can you use your retinol in the morning? That is possible. The only problem I have with the over-the-counter retinols and the stabilized retinol claims and the idea of using that ingredient in the morning is, unlike, I guess, the pharma industry, where you have to validate your formulation and your product with stability, showing that it can be more stable in light. The over-the-counter space doesn't have that. So I'm finding in a lot of products, they have stabilized retinol on their products, but there's really not much evidence behind it showing that it can be stable in light. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt. Also, again, behind me from SkinStore, they're having their Memorial Day weekend sale. I think it's 20% off. There's actually a code you can use, Dr. LJM, and you'll get a deeper discount, the deepest discount on whatever products. So take a look at that. But we'll be trying on a lot of sunscreens today too. I have a ton of micellar water ready to go. And then I actually have about 5 cotton cloths to help facilitate this. Okay, now I'm going to start with some questions, and then I'll start playing with some products while we talk about this. But let's go back to the beginning here. No. So one of the questions is, can you take Accutane without a prescription? So Accutane, isotretinoin, this is an ingredient that's very effective for acne. It's one of the few things in the world that can result in a cure for a condition. Almost, I mean, if you think about it, very few things result in a cure. The problems with it are there. It's very strong. Side effects are similar to taking high dose oral vitamin A that's not synthetic, because it's just a very similar thing. But no, and it requires prescription, and I think, and definitely reasonably so. It's just very strong, very effective, but then conversely, it has the double-edged sword like any ingredient, but that also can be stronger and it needs some guidance. So that does have to have a prescription. Why do moles occur? So moles are interesting because most people, there's not a born version of moles where you have moles on your skin. Some people have both a genetic component. We actually know a lot of the genes in the DNA that are mutated and result in moles. But then also the sun can damage the skin and either change moles that we have or interact with our DNA to cause new growths of moles. And if you look under the microscope, it's actually the pigment-making cells or melanocytes that actually form these organized structures. And then you have the mole or the melanocytic nevus that grows on the skin. But they're all resultant in some sort of mutation in the DNA that causes growth. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, it's so common. So someone said, I want to start tretinoin, but I'm scared. This is like the double-edged sword of social media. And I was hanging out just for a minute with Swole MD yesterday, Dr. Greeny on the live, and we just got into the tretinoin talk because tretinoin, if you're not familiar, tretinoin is a hero ingredient. It is certainly the most effective topical for acne, along with the newer retinoids. And then for photo aging, it's probably the most effective all-around ingredient for all things photo aging too, at least collectively. The downside is it's irritating and it cannot be used in pregnancy, but irritation being the more universal caution. And which is why we talked a little bit about what we just talked about from the study showing there's multiple different forms now. Now, not everyone struggles with irritation from it. A lot of people can start tretinoin just fine and they don't have any problems. You get all the benefits. But I have this weird take on the tretinoin irritation. I think it actually is helpful because I think it helps people know it's doing something. It's just this immediate response that lets you know you're actively participating in your skincare. It's just doing something. And so even though it's a bit of a negative reinforcement, it actually, I think, has this positive side to it where it helps you know that the ingredient is working, as opposed to other things. Like you use topical peptides, you use hyaluronic acid kind of has its own thing. That's this immediate gratification. Copper peptides though, like all these other ingredients, there's just this very slow performance. You're just trusting that they work. So I think that there, please, any rosacea recommendations? Also, my skin is super dry, thanks. That rosacea is so tough. I feel like every time I talk to Dr. Shaw, I'm like, hey, we need to redo this rosacea video. We just have to redo it. It was so thorough and so good, but it was also, I think, it was shot on our iPhone, on the couch in the upstairs of the office, and it just needs to be redone because rosacea is such a complex topic. I'm very passionate about it. I actually just shot a renewed rosacea video for my Instagram, and I'll probably post that during the week, this upcoming week. But rosacea has 4 prongs, which makes it even more complicated. And they don't all respond to the treatment, which again makes it more complicated. And there's overlap, which makes it more complicated. So we have the vascular type, which is the red flushing type, usually associated with sensitive skin, the acne type, oil gland type, and the ocular type. But we always focus on the first 3 because right now we're skin first. A consistent recommendation here would be a sulfur wash. And there are so few sulfur washes over the counter. I went to Sephora and Ulta and all these things for some shopping, just for some videos I was doing. And there are very few sulfur washes where that ingredient really can shine. But also the ones that are out there, I think that Kate Somerville has one of the ones that's most recommended. And it's good, but it's expensive as can be. So there is actually a prescription sulfacetamide, 10%. And I actually have had a lot of patients come back to me and tell me how good it feels. And you don't hear that a lot with prescription things as the cosmeceutical experiential side of it. But they told me it feels great. I have some, and it's a really foundational cleanser. The nice thing about it, it's gentle, so it works well with that gentle or sensitive skin of rosacea. And then the second side of that is after the cleanser, you can use azelaic acid twice a day. 15% is the concentration studied. It really is a very foundational ingredient. Topical prescription options are very helpful because of the sensitive skin. Oftentimes you'll find effective and more gentle ingredients there, like topical ivermectin or Soolantra. It's hard to get that covered. And then topical metronidazole gel, which can be helpful, especially for the acne type. And then also, what did I come behind that with? There's a lot of redness relief serums that are okay. I do have my hands on this. Okay, let's do this. Let's make this a transition here because I've fallen back in love with, while we're talking about rosacea, I have fallen back in love with the Dr. Jart's Cicapair sunscreens. And why do I functionally love these? It's because they're dual ingredient. I mean, they have dual purposes. And if you're not familiar with this product, this Cicapair Tiger Grass Camo Drops and Tiger Grass Color Correcting Treatment, they are sunscreens. They're zinc oxide based, I believe. And additionally, they have this green hue to them, hence the green bottle. Now, so this is functional. It's like one of these new things where we're getting more of this, but like skincare meets almost like makeup and is serving a dual purpose. And then there are a lot of soothing ingredients in this as well. But I'll talk to you about, I'm going to try to put these on. We talk to you about this because these two products are a little bit different. Actually, they're very different. Again, please, this is my caveat. I know that my techniques are going to be terrible doing this, but I challenge you to do a live, answer questions, and have good skincare technique as well. So this was the serum, right? That was actually a finger length, which is fairly appropriate for half of your face. Look at that. Blends. So I actually like this one for darker skin tones, for those who struggle with rosacea. And then the color correcting treatment, get that up in frame. This one, conversely, I'll just show you. All right, I'll just show you. Let me just show you the magic here. So this one has its own functional purpose. If you can't tell, for what I feel like was a reasonable amount, it's a pretty stark contrast. Like I didn't spend much less time working this in than I did the serum. I mean, look at the difference. So you can work this in. I messed around with it. It's still casty, even if you work it in for a few minutes. So I don't like the treatment for darker skin tones, and that's actually lead into another question about darker skin tones that was in the questions. But I do like the Tiger Grass Camo Drops for darker skin tones, and both for red skin. Now, obviously, if you really are trying to cover up red skin, especially with that vascular rosacea, obviously this one is going to be more effective because it's like a thick green tint. The other one's more subtle, so a little more subtle correction. This one is going to be more effective at just covering, purely speaking, from the makeup side of things. So that's your sun protection. And actually, sun is a big aggravator in rosacea. We know for a fact that it increases your matrix metalloproteinases and inflammatory cascades, and it really does aggravate that vascular rosacea. And then, see here in the evening, you're back to your azelaic acid. You're back to your topical antibiotics, things like that, and then a gentle moisturizer. Sorry, I just spilled micellar water on my other computer I'm running at the same time. But that's okay. We won't worry about it. So just put a little micellar water here. I thought about using a cleansing balm too. And again, yes, micellar water can be used and should be used with cotton. I think there's cotton in this fabric. We're not going for perfection here. We're just making it work. This one too is a pretty good one. I like actually I have a couple of them. Bioderma has a great cleanser, or micellar water. Everyone seems to love that. CeraVe is very gentle. And then I do love the La Roche-Posay. I think is one I use all the time. There's 3 plugs for no reason. Next question. I think that one of the questions early on too was, do I need to alternate or change skincare for darker skin tones? And actually, yeah. Wow, this looks terrible. So actually, yes. Because people with darker skin tones are prone to fairly specific things, there are actually some really good studies out there. One of the things that's talked about most frequently is darker skin tones and risk of hyperpigmentation. And there are a few studies showing that, one, visible light actually interacts with darker skin tone more prominently than lighter skin tones in inducing hyperpigmentation. So we talk about tinted sunscreens and its utility in protecting hyperpigmentation, protecting against hyperpigmentation. This is especially important for those with darker skin tones. So just be aware of that. And then let's see. And so tinted, I'll get a tinted sunscreen here too in a second. But another thing too is actually dry skin and skin cell turnover. There's a really interesting study that bookmark. It was classified, I think it's Caucasian, Asian, and then African American or darker black skin tones, and it took a look at hydration and then also skin cell turnover. And it showed that those with darker skin tones actually struggle with higher keratinocyte retention rates, more dry skin. And so exfoliating and moisturizing is actually perhaps more important for those skin tones as well. So you can definitely customize your skincare based off of, we do talk about it a lot, skin tone, skin type, and it makes a huge difference. Oh, huge difference. Okay, so I just got really excited because this leads into another fun product. I'm just gonna go get the box. So here's some dead air. Enjoy. Okay. So I'm very excited about this box. I don't think we've released the video yet, but I talked about another brand and their skin palette because it's a fun thing to me that a lot of brands are coming out with multiple colors to match with tinted sunscreen. Because quite honestly, for some of my friends with lighter skin tones, they try the tinted sunscreen and it shows. Like it just looks like they slapped on some makeup or paint or whatever, and it just stands out. Conversely, some tinted sunscreens are too light for darker skin tones, and so it still stands out, doesn't match. Ilia, which actually I think we shouted out in one of our videos, if not, it's going to be shouted out. They have a tremendous color palette. This is also a zinc-based sunscreen, but I love it because I'm all about being deliberate and personalizing your skincare, and it actually helps with consistency. And I'll just pick one at random here. It actually helps with consistency when you can, when you love the skincare you use, which is what we talk about sometimes when we talk about the experiential side of skincare. Because if you like how it feels, if you like how it smells, it's not causing any problems, it's probably going to help you use it more frequently. So same with sunscreen. If it matches your skin tone, if it can double up as a foundation dupe, it's a good option. So this one, let's see, what was this one? Super Serum Skin Tint. I'm trying to see how they have this organized. Sombrio ST 2.5. I'm sure there's some way they're organizing their colors here, but so this one's like a fairly light, almost like a caramel kind of milk thing. A little lighter, actually a bit lighter than my skin tone, but let's see how it does. That's actually pretty light tint. But the thing is, they have, in that box, I'm confident they have something that represents almost the whole spectrum, which again, I'm a huge fan of, so you can be deliberate and consistent with your sun protection and your skincare. There's a smell to this that I don't like, though. But that's the fun of doing this with you all live. Either way, I'm a huge fan of that brand and the concept. Love the idea. Again, mineral, they're fairly gentle, so I'm good with that. Let's see what else. Rosacea product recommendations. Kind of hit a few of those. Oh, products. I'm going to say products. There's a Spanish brand. It's actually kind of difficult to navigate, I feel like, but Niche Beauty Labs has a 15% azelaic acid. That's dynamite. Of course, there's prescription options that are 15 to 20%, and those excel in terms of efficacy. And there's that blend for me. I'll let it set for a sec, but obviously it's a little light for my tone. Again, I talked about the Katie Somerville Sulfur Cleanser. I do think the prescription option actually is the better option there, just functionally, elegantly, and probably effectiveness-wise. And then we have a lot of other over-the-counter azelaic acids that are a little bit, that's 10%. And I talked about some. I guess I did all my product recommendations for rosacea. That's like a very foundational way to do it. This is an interesting question. So person asked, doctor, my mom got heart disease. Is it okay to put Tretinoin on the face? And I'm trying to think as to why not. So if you haven't been on these lives with me, I kind of think out loud. We're working through this together. Please give me some grace. But Tretinoin. So I'm going to extrapolate the oral side effects: dryness, headache, joint aches, muscle aches, teratogenic. With heart disease, collectively it should be okay. And especially topically, physiologically. Again, this is not medical advice. I'm just thinking out loud. But I do believe that it was reasonable. And then this is a good example of how sunscreen kind of sets. So I try in my videos to at least wait a couple of minutes for that last thing after blending, because they often do set better than they look initially. But you can still see. I think you can all still see. This one was too light for my skin tone. But if I dig through that box, I'm going to find the perfect fit, no question. Let's see. Help dry, itchy, bumpy eczema skin because of this allergy season. Tried urea and not improved. That's too bad because urea is actually extremely good because it's one of the few ingredients that moisturizes and exfoliates. I guess here too, I'd say, what concentration of urea are you using? Because just like salicylic acid, urea is fairly concentration dependent. And so using a 10% isn't going to do as much exfoliating as a 20%, which won't be as much as a 40%. So I've had a lot of patients and people really loving the 40% urea because of the effectiveness and texture. Alternatively, lactic acid is one of those hydrating, moisturizing ingredients. Dermatology, DRMTY, has a great lactic acid moisturizer. It's just a lotion, but it's very nice. And then again, a lot of these rough and bumpy products over the counter have salicylic acid, usually at a 2%, which can be a gentle exfoliator and help as well. But honestly, sometimes it takes multiple things. Sometimes that's not enough and you have to combine ingredients. So using a urea, I think Eucerin has a nice urea moisturizer as well. So a lot of options. Sometimes it takes multiple things. For the body, often can tolerate physical exfoliation as well. Now, you mentioned allergies and eczema, so that skin might also be inflamed. And if the texture is purely from inflammation, because when skin gets inflamed, it gets edematous and you get accentuation of skin lines, accentuation of the little follicular orifices, which are the bumps which in the hair follicles are coming out. So if that's purely it, then just treating the inflammation directly is actually going to help that texture perhaps more than anything else. And here's one too. Dr. I love the Dermatology Soothe Recovery Cream. Dermatology is a brand I've been obsessed with. I've talked about them as much as any other brand, if not more than any other brand, but their quality in their products is just outstanding. It is very nice. Let's see here. The one in the jar is so pasty. Yeah, it sure is. Let's see, what else do we have? This is interesting. All right, let's think through this. How do I avoid getting a fungal infection that I believe is spread at work? A lot of people at my job have a dark brown splotches on their fingernails. I don't know how or where it is being spread. So a couple of things here. First is the assumption that whatever the dark brown stuff is actually a fungal infection. I'm not sure that's completely characteristic, but it's possible, I suppose. The second thing is, how do you treat it? It's difficult. If you're actually truly dealing with a fungal infection of the nails, it's extremely resistant. Topical treatments, prescription or over the counter, usually have a cure rate of 15 or less percent. Clinically, that's obviously a horrible number. So I would probably say see your dermatologist, 1, to confirm the diagnosis, or 2, to get treatment if it's a nail involvement. But we talked about over the counter, Vicks Vapor Rub has some possible things. So it's actually worth trying because of the breakdown of the essential oils in Vicks Vapor Rub, which is really interesting. That was a fun deep dive for me. Miconazole over the counter actually has good antifungal activity. Some people use ketoconazole, a cream, a very similar related prescription ingredient. So that's always kind of a hack you can try as well. Can you use tretinoin if you have rosacea? You can try. It's tough. But the thing with rosacea, it's so personalized. Like I always talk about personalization. Rosacea, even more so. It's crazy. My wife can't use tretinoin in any form. I don't think she can use a retinol to date. And we've tried it all. It's just, she has very sensitive vascular rosacea type skin. And so, it's just not there for her. So not everyone can use it. While I look at the next question, I'm going to shout this one out. So Biossance Squalane and Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen. I was actually shopping for something else and I saw this and I was like, I have to just buy it. I've never talked about this or shown it on camera, but this is one of those rare sunscreens. It's a mineral sunscreen that just delivers and blends. It's so elegant. And that's kind of the Biossance thing. That's why, we've done so much with them or shown their products randomly because they're I don't know what it is. Their products are just nice. Anyway, so Squalane Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen going on. This one is not tinted, but Squalane is such a good vehicle, or squalane as it's actually correctly called, but I just kind of given up on that. It absorbs deeply. Squalane oil is extremely hydrating. It's not greasy, so it's a terrific Terrific thing. Let's see here. Oh, someone has said it's almost 10 p.m. there. Wow. Thank you for joining in just the same, at least initially. You know what I really want to do? I want to do these lives at 4 a.m. or like 5 a.m. because I'm a morning person. But I've noticed most people in the skincare world are not. Most people are night people, which makes me the outlier. So it's rare that I'm on during a live when everybody else is, because everyone seems to also go live at nighttime. So this is going to take a little work, I can tell. But I can tell the feel of this for a mineral sunscreen is insane. It feels like a chemical sunscreen. And I guarantee you, just watch this thing set. It's going to be nice. Can 10% vitamin B5 cause purging? Not typically directly, I'd say. So B5, we're still struggling to get this in. I may have oversaid, promised. Panthenol is extremely gentle. Wow. Hold on. I believe in this. I believe this is going to work. Panthenol is extremely gentle. B3 or niacinamide is similar B vitamin. Not a similar, but a different B vitamin. But again, B5 panthenol is typically very gentle. I would look at other things in that product to see if that's what's going on, because there's really nothing in that directly that I would say is going to be contributing. Now, B3, speaking of which, let's just play with the other side of my face here. Vichy Lift Active B3 serum. What's with B3? This is niacinamide. If you haven't heard me talk about niacinamide, you probably just haven't heard me, because I love this ingredient because it's so well rounded. It's almost like the vitamin C's and retinols of the world, because it covers so many different bases. Niacinamide, like retinol, addresses both photoaging and acne, but in a small way. So it's a supporting ingredient. In no way is it going to change your skin on its own. And I always throw that caveat out there because I think it's a very important distinction. But the B3 glycolic acid serum from Vichy Lift Active, I have done sponsored posts from other content, but this is actually something I recommend in clinic. There are some over-the-counter products I actually recommend in the office now, because I think they're accessible, they're easy for patients to get, and everyone's using. It's not like I have a prescription glycolic acid product that I'm recommending. It's just not there. So this is an incredible glycolic acid option, very gentle, complementing ingredients. I think we'll talk about it again in the future. Okay, so back to this Biossance sunscreen. I think we've given enough time now. Is it perfect? No. But realistic expectations with a zinc oxide sunscreen, this is pretty good. So for someone who has a lighter skin tone, you're like, that looks terrible. No, this is pretty good. For mineral sunscreen, this is pretty good. And the feel of it is excellent. Like, excellent. But that's just Biossance for you. All right, what's next? What else do we have? Can an LED mask cause skin thinning with long-term use? Nope, it should not. Red light specifically, and because LED masks are using visible light, right? So visible light's completely different than UV light. The only thing they have in common is the word light. And blue light is great for acne, can be helpful for psoriasis, that's stronger powers. And then red light is particularly helpful for collagen, a little acne, but a lot of anti-aging. But no, it actually should thicken the dermis and thicken the skin. So now this shouldn't help, or shouldn't hurt it. Tip to protect the skin of your hands from the light at the nail salon, from the light machine. Yeah, we talked about this in the podcast. It was a trending topic for a little while. But, by the way, on the podcast, Dr. Shah's been traveling the world, if you don't know, just for different events. And so we haven't been able to get that. It's still going on. We're still doing the podcast. We're 100% committed to it. We love it. So, but I apologize for the pause. We're going to get back to that probably as early as next week. Now, nails, again, so the question is, you put your nails in the thing to cure the gel, and they have historically used ultraviolet light for that. So how can you protect it? Well, the nail matrix, where the nail head comes from, is actually here. But not only with UV exposure to the nails are you concerned about the nail matrix cells getting involved, but also the nail bed, which underlies the plate here. So it is possible, and it definitely happens, that people get skin cancers under the nail. Within the last 2 years, I've seen and treated, I think, 3 melanomas under the nails, which is not super common, thankfully, because they often get diagnosed late. but they can occur. And then I have also done a couple squamous cell skin cancer on the nails. So it's like a possible risk, although theoretical, about the gel thing. So here's how you can protect it. You can put sunscreen on the nail cuticle or nail bed there. Is this the right side? Yeah. Or alternatively, there are other options, and I shouted them out in the, because I don't do my nails, but I did shout out to the different options. There's different ways to kind of cure that gel now, where I think they even use visible light as well. So you don't have to use ultraviolet light anymore to kind of use that same kind of nails. So that's actually probably the best way to go, is just do that, because the sunscreen thing isn't really complete at all, determining like where you're actually used it. Yeah, well, thanks, thanks, Allison. I'm glad you were listening to Unhinged. That's the podcast. It's definitely not over. We absolutely love it. Just we couldn't figure out how to get it to work with the travel plans as of late. But again, that's going to be a consistent thing. Let's see here. Tinted sunscreens for sensitive skin. Tinted sunscreens for sensitive skin. Really, honestly, though, so in terms of efficacy and effectiveness, sunscreen and mineral really should both be equally effective, and they are, because they're tested for effectiveness, and so that's quantifiable. Now, the one thing I have against some chemical sunscreens is they can be irritating. Actually more that than anything else is the real consistent knock. Now, this is a good option here. I actually have one in hand. The La Roche-Posay Tinted Mineral Anthelios Light Fluid Sunscreen. Long name, but great product. So we talked about the Isden one, and there's actually a study that popped up today. It's not a new study from 2022, but it was one of their studies that showed that adding photolysate in a sunscreen can elevate the sunscreen. But this one, it actually sits similarly. So if you like the feel of that, this one's similar, a little bit more hydrating, I'd say. Price point is it's a little bit lower, but for a smaller volume. That's the thing with the Isden sunscreen. It seems really expensive, but it's actually almost twice the volume of most face sunscreen bottles. So it's almost the same price, but it's just not marketed in a good way, I think, in terms of size. Anyway, so this one is a really nice one. The reason I think this is a good option for gentle, sensitive skin, again, it is mineral-based. This one has titanium dioxide, which zinc and titanium, I think, are both pretty well tolerated. The benefit here also, this one is fragrance-free, whereas the Isden one is not. Just show you that here. And let's put it on. My skin is going to be so stripped after this. It's going to be ridiculous, but we'll survive. It's the problem of making videos, Anyway, obviously, this is tinted. This is like a good contrast, because I think the Biossance one is a very good sunscreen. But you saw how difficult that one was. One, it's zinc. That one blends a little less easily than titanium dioxide. And then two, it was not tinted. This is tinted. This is still mineral, but tinted sunscreens can make life easier for those of us with darker skin tones. Blends great, fragrance free, good for sensitive skin. I think and a lot of brands do test on sensitive skin. There's a lot to that, but it's also waterproof. So great option for sensitive skin. Again, that was La Roche-Posay Tinted Mineral Light Fluid Sunscreen. Boom. Let's see. What else do we have? Hydrafacial. Hydrafacial. Didn't we do a talk about that? Yeah, Hydrafacial is interesting. There's the device, but then it's just basically the tech. And if you're not familiar with it, you basically use a water-powered device to remove gunk from the skin. And again, there are different forms of it, different ways to do it. But that's the common theme. And I feel like it's kind of a nicer, I do like it better than just like squeezing the skin for removing gunk from your skin or oil. I don't actually have any problem with it. I just think that with that and a lot of facials things or things that you might do at a med spa is people replace their skincare routines with that, which is the problem, right? So it's, sorry, this is getting like really tinty, but you should be complementing your skincare routine with the occasional like Hydrafacial, right? Because the bulk of the work is actually your skincare routine. It's always the day-to-day consistency that makes the biggest difference. It's never the once a month treat that is actually doing it, unless it's like a huge surgical procedure or something like that. Hello from Bangkok. Hello. How do you get so tan using sunscreen every day? Well, this is actually a very good question, because you're going to see me get more tan as the summer goes on. And it's actually kind of absurd that even happens, because I'm a surfer. And so I also run. I'm outside. I play with kids outside. I'm just an outside person. I think it's good for a human being to be outside and active. It's just good for your soul, good for your body, good overall. I'm extremely diligent with my sunscreen outside. Insanely diligent. I think this towel's dead. We're going to use another one. The thing about it, sunscreen's imperfect. Whether from rubbing your face, from sweating, or the sweat or water getting on there directly, or just uneven application. It is regulated pretty heavily, but even despite FDA regulation, we do see these scandals where the SPF factor is lower. So they're still imperfect, and just that small amount, especially with UVA rays, can get through. And that's another thing too, is the SPF rating is consistent on the protection from UVB rays, but UVA rays are the ones that do penetrate deeper. And that's why on a lot of these Korean sunscreens, which sure, why not just plug one here, Essence Sun Milk, for random example, has a +++ rating. This talks about the ++ or the PA rating talks about its UVA protection. And that will protect against the UVA rays and would, in theory, protect better against, tanning. This is very difficult talking and doing all these things. But now, having said that, filters like zinc oxide or avobenzone, mineral versus chemical, whatever, they do have UVA coverage. So even though it might not be quantified and as easily available or ready for a person to evaluate, they also protect against UVA. It's just imperfect. Plus, also, when I surf, exercise, I'm out there at like 5 a.m., whether I'm running or whatever, and my sun exposure is very minimal. And so I will also caveat with skin tone. I've got Indonesian, my mom's from Indonesia, and it makes a huge difference. I tan in an instant. My wife says that I can walk from the door to the car and I will be a shade darker, and she's kind of right. So skin tone actually also plays a big difference in how your skin readily reacts to the sun, both positively and negatively. And bam, there it is. There's a Korean sunscreen. Almost universally, those filters blend insane, and they are so lightweight. It's unreal. Also, too, I've always had this knock on Korean sunscreens that there's no waterproof ones. And let me see if this is still true. I think there are some waterproof Korean sunscreens. For me, that's a huge deal, and I haven't tried them yet. So I certainly will, because I'm running, I'm sweating, I'm surfing, and when all the stuff gets in my eyes, it burns. And I'm wondering if these Korean filters will hurt or be less irritating for the eyes. So waterproof Korean sunscreens, I think they exist. I just have never had one, never seen one in person. But I did find, short list here. So I will be getting these, and I will let you know. Hopefully they don't have any US filters, so I can really quantify that. But they blend amazingly. Okay, can you use your oily skincare routine if you have combination skin? Okay, so this is actually going to play into a video I am also going to be putting together. Actually, when I get off here with you all, I'm going to continue my weekend work as I always do, and I'm going to put together like a pro level combination skin care routine, because that's where it really falls. I think once you get past like the basic foundational, treat your whole face like your face, you do, and everyone kind of inherently does, personalize their skin routine by the skin they're treating. So like they'll put some things here, they won't put it here, they won't put it perhaps here. And so for combination skin, it's the same thing. So yes, typically you can do your oily skincare routine over combination skin. And which teaser, like we have another video coming out about something exactly directly related to this. But yeah, you can. You'll find, and your skin will tell you what areas respond better than others. And then the perfect ingredient that would be the poster child for this is tretinoin. Tretinoin is good for oil control, as good as any other topical, I'd say. And inherently, you're gonna know your skin can tolerate it here, maybe here, but it can't tolerate it here. I mean, that's my skin. I struggle with tretinoin here, but I could probably put it 10 times a day on my nose and not have any irritation. It's just weird, and it is what it is. We're all very individual. So yeah, you can use your skincare routine. Other ingredients like niacinamide, usually more generalizable. Other ingredients like green tea, which I got the Innisfree green tea toner. Do we want some more Dead Space? Should I go get it? All right, here's some more Dead Space. I want to try this. I haven't tried it yet. I like the Innisfree, but let's try the, Innisfree. The Innisfree one. Okay, enjoy. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I feel like for those of you just tuning in, that was dead air. I was getting a product. The Innisfree one, I do love a lot of Innisfree products. I often mispronounce it because I get that Innisfree and Isntree. They're too similar. The one knock on this one though, I'm going to show it to you. It's beautiful packaging. And maybe I should just talk about toner. I'll talk about toners in general here on this because toners need so much explanation. It's ridiculous. Innisfree green tea hyaluronic acid toner. Toners in general, they really just aren't toners anymore, at least the good ones. We've said before you don't need a toner. This is still true. The kicker is a lot of toners aren't toners anymore. They're just very watery-based active ingredients that can also be serums if they were just formulated differently. So I'm actually a big fan of toners, or the toners, the non-toner toners. I actually really like them because I have a little oilier skin. So texturally, there's a huge win. Again, we're not going for perfection. Just deal with it. We're just going to be putting it on our skin somehow. Let's see here. Okay. It does. Oh, making a mess. Oh, here's a fun question. Do you need to put toners on with cotton? I get that question a lot. Also, the padding thing versus swipe thing. Does it really make a difference? Why would it? Also, the cotton thing, toners and cotton thing, it's not micellar water. So I don't feel like it's that important. So this is actually it's kind of not creamy, but it's more hydrating. This is nicer than I thought. Fragrance, super subtle, super hydrating. Green tea toner is a huge win because green tea can help with oil control. So it's great for oily skin. And the toners, naturally, so watery, have a great feel on oily skin. So I'm a big fan of that. Let me take a look here. Natural products for all over skincare. It's another question. Natural products for all over skincare. Dry skin for those of us with multiple chemicals. Sensitivities, lotions, and creams don't absorb. Hold on. Natural products for all over skincare. For dry skin with multiple chemical sensitivities. And you don't like lotions and creams. Okay, so two things. One is the multiple ingredients a person is allergic to. The second thing is vehicles. So we're having to pick from an ingredient list. We don't have a lot of detail, but it'd be fairly limited. And then we're also having to pick in terms of ingredients and vehicles. So this is actually doable, believe it or not. And here's why. You can get skin oils, and they actually have a ton of different properties. My very, very back in the day, one of the first things I obsessed over was skin oils. And they're all unique. You can use them deliberately, just like anything. So I would say, if you're looking for something watery, more lightweight, squalane oil is a perfect foil for that combination. Squalane. We're going to commit to that. It is extremely gentle. It's hydrating. It absorbs deeper, so it doesn't leave a greasy film. And you can get it. Biossance, again, just talked about the brand. They have a squalane oil that is of very high quality. You can try it out, see if your skin likes it. For those with greasy skin, if you want a skin oil, that's the one to use. Because of the depth of absorption. An alternative that a person could use, jojoba oil, has a lot of studies behind it. It's a great oil for the skin. You can try that. It's a little more oily and greasy than squalane. Grapeseed oil, it feels very nice. It has some studies, not as much, so it's okay. And then for something thicker, and it still absorbs because it melts at a more normothermic temperature, is coconut oil. So coconut oil has a ton of studies behind it. I'm actually a huge proponent for coconut oil. For some people, it can be comedogenic. For some people, it's not. But coconut oil is a solid at room temperature. When it gets a little warmer, it melts. So this is something that would actually blend and get on your skin better than a lotion or cream. Plus, it's a single ingredient that's been tested extensively in eczema and sensitive skin. So I think that's the win. If it's not squalane, it's coconut oil. Let's see. Wait, what else? Let's see. I've got some questions here. I'm going to answer those. What else do we have? Again, these were gifted from SkinStore. They're going to help us out. They're going to actually let us shop. This is interesting. Oh, no. You know what? I wanted to try this. There's another thing going on. So I never was really into the, Glow Screen from Supergroup. It's just over the top. No, that's not the one. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. But I do think these are kind of fun. What is it? Elf has a Woe Glow sunscreen now. I never did post that video, but it's really nice. It has like a very moderate glow. It's noticeable though. It's noticeable. It's like a filter swipe on your face, which I just think is kind of fun. I don't want that look, but for someone who wants that look, it's pretty noticeable, and it's like middle of the ground, so middle of the road. You can get some really dramatic sunscreens. So this one, again from SkinStore, use the Dr. LJM for 20% plus off at this on their store. But Elta Md UV Glow. I have not tried this. My comparators and my point of reference is going to come from, again, Woe Glow from Elf, and then the Glow Screen from Supergoop. So I'll put this on while I answer another question. Best procedure for boxcar ice pick at atrophic scars. I gotta get the sunscreen off my neck. The best procedures probably going to be something like TCA Cross, which is a type of peel. You put a really high concentration of an acid right into the base of the scar, and sorry, still trying to get this out. And it's very focal. And the reason I like that for ice pick scars and boxcar scars is because when you do that, it really limits the treatment to that area directly. And so it really focally treats that as well. Oh, nice. This one's tinted too. But the problem with that one, it's hard to get out though. The problem with that one is finding a dermatologist who does it. So you're going to need to call around, because not everybody does. Not everybody does peels. And so that's one you're going to have to call around for. TCA Cross. Just take a look. And then another one that's more universal that can be helpful is CO2 laser. And you can use fractionated, would probably be the better option for that because of the depth of those scars, as opposed to like a purely ablative setting. That would be a good option there. So those would be good. And I think that's a big point with scarring though, is with those very prominent structural scars, topicals just are okay. I mean, they really just have modest benefits. So I'm always big on expectations, which is why I hate ingredients that are overhyped. Apple cider vinegar being the biggest offender, but realistic expectations, topicals help minimally with deep or structural scars. So that's a good blend. Let's leave it on. Let's see how glowy it is. It already had like a little bit of a dewy finish from that Innisfree hyaluronic acid green tea toner, which was surprising. That actually left a bit more of a film than I thought it would, like in a nice way. But anyway, here's the glow screen. Pretty glowy. I'd say it's less glowy than the Woe Glow from Elf. Maybe I'll do a side-by-side later and see. But that's my initial take on that. I have not checked out Delavie skincare products. I'll have to check them out. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about that. Some random stuff being thrown into the chat here. Let's see. I've always used toners as a final cleanse to ensure that dirt. See that this is the traditional toner here. I've got a really cool one over there. I have to go get it, but let me get it. 1 sec. All right, so I'm back. That didn't take long, right? Is that okay? So this is the traditional toner. So someone's talking about how they're using toners as their final cleanse in their step. And here's why I believe this is obviated now. You can do it. That's fine. If that works with your skin, that's fine. But toners originally, like a real true toner, was an astringent, and it was used to remove the residue left from soap, because soap was soap. It was like bar soap, and it would leave this lye and all of these debris and these harsh ingredients in your skin, and then you would use some toner with alcohol or witch hazel to come in behind that and remove that. So that's where the true toner is, and what some of these are. This is a fun brand. The packaging on this brand, and I'm so sorry, I don't know the brand name because I never really did use these too much, but aesthetically they're really nice. But I never got into them because they're true toners. I think this one says, I don't know, I'm so sorry. This is a Korean skincare brand. I'm so sorry. I don't know the name, and it's in Korean, so I can't read it. But just as an example, this one is that one's a calming toner, but I know it still has alcohol and witch hazel, I believe. But because of that, the experience is completely different, because modern cleansers are so effective, and we have cleansing balms, we have micellar water, and I can't get this open, that we don't need another cleanser afterwards, because these things are very effective and very gentle, and there's really not much residue left to remove from the skin. So because of that, the astringent toners don't have much of a place functionally, in my opinion. Now this you would want, I don't know, you still don't really need a cotton pad because you're not organizing my cells in a sense, but trying to see if I smell any witch hazel here. But again, experience is nice. Not sure you need a true toner in a routine because the astringent's a redundant step, but whatever, to each their own. Let's see here. What's next? Have you heard of Palmoplantar keratoderma? Yeah, that's a common thing for dermatologists to see, to treat in different forms, and there's multiple causes. So not Palmoplantar keratoderma. Let me hit this with some micellar water too. Palmoplantar keratoderma is a condition where the palms and the feet get very thick layers of skin. A stratum corneum either builds up from excessive growth or it does not shed. Again, there are multiple causes of it. You can see it with different things. And so it's not like they're not one universal condition. There are actually a lot of inherited conditions that can also have that. Dermatologists, again, are routinely trained in this, not only the causes, but the treatment, but you're really left with physical and mechanical exfoliators. And then most importantly, actually, especially if it's a younger individual with this condition, is making sure that there's no underlying cause or condition or syndrome. And if there is, then that's what you have to address, unfortunately. So let's see what else we've got. When and how should you use micellar water? I love micellar water. I love cleansing balms too, and I might actually switch to a cleansing balm. My face is getting torn up. The micellar water, if you're not familiar with micellar water, this is one of the answers to getting sunscreen and makeup off. It's made of these little chemical structures. It's just the same thing as in soap, where you have two heads. One's polar, one's non-polar. So one binds to fat, one absorbs in fat, one absorbs as water. But these form these little circles, and it helps remove any oily material from the skin. The reason I like it is because, I was someone who did wear sunscreen back in the day, and it was very hard to get off. You just wash it with a normal cleanser. It doesn't completely come off. You can feel it. For those of you who wear makeup, you can tell and see that doesn't come off. Micellar water kind of answers that problem. And how often, it's okay to use it nightly. Like, you would just use it at the end of the day. It would be your first step. So you would use micellar water. You would put it on something cotton. Honestly, if you do it imperfectly, and you can try this yourself, just do it imperfectly, lather it on your face, because I do use micellar and micelles in other cleansers. It will still help, but it works best when used with cotton because it helps polarize the ingredients. Anyway, then you do that, you wipe it off with the cotton, and then you come behind it with a gentle cleanser. So that's an option too, and you can do it nightly. The alternative for those with more sensitive skin, because micellar water isn't that hydrating, but you can use a cleansing balm, which can be very hydrating. Some of my favorites, the Neutrogena cleansing balm, super straightforward. CeraVe has a cleansing balm. And then for experience, I still am obsessed with the Pharmacy cleansing balm. It smells like those little colorful marshmallows. And I love it. Let's see what else. Okay. Oh, that's it. This is an interesting question. This is a good question from Golem. Oh, we'll try this on. We haven't talked about this, and then we'll talk about this next. This is the Bioeffect EGF Eye Serum. Growth factors. Controversial. The question here, though, was, do you recommend Finasteride if balding, or if not balding, but as a preventative? So I would say, Finasteride, if you're not aware, it's an oral medication used at high dose for benign prostatic hyperplasia because it blocks the conversion of testosterone to the hydroxytestosterone, the extra active version. All right, this box is gone. At lower dose, it still has enough anti-androgenic properties. It can be helpful for hormonal hair loss. And the question is what if you're not balding yet? Can you use it? Oh, it's got a roller. Can you use it as a preventative? And the answer to that I'd say not really. I would wait until you have like the earliest signs. If you're noticing thinning here, and again, I think, who knows if I'm thinning or if it's my hairline. My son has the same hairline and he was born with it. But if you're thinning here, or thinning here, or you're just noticing your hairline's receding, because there is this hairlining receding that can happen in your early 20s, and then it can kind of stabilize for a little bit. But that's when to start it. You want to start it early, but because it is an ingredient that is having a physiologic effect in the body, there are legitimate potential side effects, like any functional ingredient. But I would say wait until you're getting the signs of hair loss, the earliest signs, and then do it. And then start it. And then oral minoxidil 2 is another, which is, I was going to say another up and coming ingredient. It's actually old as can be, but it's coming back into favor, and we're seeing it prescribed a lot more often. But it also can help for someone who wants to help with hair loss but doesn't want to directly interact with the hormones. So let's see what's next. Oh, does AmLactin clear dark pigmentation? So AmLactin is ammonium lactate, which is I think like a salt derivative of lactic acid. So it's a moisturizing, hydrating ingredient, and an exfoliant. And yeah, that can be helpful a bit with hyperpigmentation. So that's good. And again, this is the Bioeffect EGF Eye Serum. So let's take this product and use it to... So I like rolling applicators. I've talked about the L'Oreal Paris hyaluronic acid eye serum before, and I like that it's in this cooling metal applicator. This one has a similar feel. It's this cooling applicator. And if you're worried about the sterility of these, I mean, they're designed that way. That's what preservatives are for. They're tested to, especially with a big brand like L'Oreal. I know I'm hitting this probably too many times, but especially a big product like L'Oreal, just seeing what the texture is. You know they've tested it with multiple hundreds of applications because that's what they're made for. So I'm not worried about that. Now, growth factors are controversial. And there are multiple growth factors. So there's transforming growth factor beta, there's epidermal growth factor, which is in here. There's multiple others. And then they're derived from different things. What you don't know, or what you may not know, is within our cells in our body, they use growth factors to signal. They're triggered by different things. Exfoliating triggers a growth factor cascade, which triggers X, Y, and Z, which triggers increased collagen growth, right? So the thought would be if you can stick up all those steps and use growth factors directly, you can have a huge uptick in most things photoaging, where growth factors would be beneficial. The problem with these has been the molecular size, and they believe they're hydrophilic, meaning they like water, which makes absorption difficult. There are some studies showing that they can be helpful, though. So I do think they can be beneficial. I like them because they're gentle. I like it better when it's like this and it talks about the type of growth factor that's in there, because I think TGF, transforming growth factor, and specifically beta, is involved in scar growth. And so there's some question is, can that particular growth factor make scarring worse? Who knows? Anecdotally, maybe, maybe not. But I like it when they actually talk about the type of growth factor specifically that's in it. That's helpful. You can make a more educated, informed decision about that. Another problem, let's see how much expensive this is. Another problem is growth factors are expensive to work with. So this one has two potential knocks on. One, it's an eye serum, which are typically expensive. Two, is it's got growth factors. So I'm expecting a big price here. Eye serum. $76.95. $76 on SkinStore. Wonder if that's with their discount. So, I mean, there's that discount today. Dr. LJM for the discount. If you want to try it, actually, if you want to try anything, use that. But I don't know. It can work. It can work. Again, I'm not like, I kind of like growth factors again because they're gentle. So that's actually not as bad of a price as I was expecting. I was thinking that was going to be like $150, but I don't know. If you're going to try one, that's actually a pretty good one. I like the cooling applicator. Growth factors seem reasonable around the eyes. They're pretty gentle. And I'm sure it has hyaluronic acid in it as well. So that's pretty nice. Get to another question here as I pick another sunscreen. Let's see. Another question. Dr. Gross retinol. I have tried it. I have it over there in the thing. I'm probably going to stop getting up and getting things now. I've probably overdone that at this point. But yeah, that's a nice one. Dr. Dennis Gross has really good quality products. Price is a little high, but I actually do like it. My opinion on pharmacy products. Is it effective? Now, you spelled it with a PH, so I might actually be missing a boat here. Did you mean, let's see, let me call you out here. Rose Casimir. Let me scroll to the bottom. calling you out. What pharmacy with an F, right? Pharmacy clean skincare, or did you actually mean French pharmacy, or is there a pharmacy with a PH? Oh wait, I actually really like pharmacy with an F. I think they nail the experiential side of skincare. Some of their products I don't love, but that's the same with any brand. Some of the products I absolutely love. I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to something in one of their products, but look, that's not a knock against the brand. That's just me, right? So I would never say a brand is bad because I'm allergic to something in it. It's just something to be aware of. Let's see here. Let's see if I got a response there from that. No, I don't think so. What do you think about EGF DNA? Can use it with a nano for penetration with the dermis. So yeah, again, I talked about the growth factors just briefly, and you actually bring up a great point. So yes, I do believe that physiologically they could be beneficial. Again, I do think they're kind of nice in their own way. But the thing you brought up is a very high level question, is what about increasing penetration? So there have been studies looking at growth factors with microneedling, usually in the setting of platelet-derived growth factors, but also, this is why things like propylene glycol or alcohol have been in skincare, because they are accelerants and they can increase the absorption of other ingredients. And let's talk about this trending topic, tretinoin and hair loss. Which I have this weird thing where, like, if something's trending and I'm just like, that's so overhyped, I just don't talk about it. But I should have talked about it when that was really going on. Tretinoin and hair loss, my thought has always been, so the studies on this, there's one from the 90s, there's another one in the early 2000s. I know there's a few more, but they're small studies and they're older studies for the most part. This isn't a new topic, it's just something that caught on. And that happens, like, that's what it is. That's how minoxidil came back into favor. It's actually an old idea that came back and people are like, oh, that's actually really nice, let's do it. Tretinoin and hair loss, a lot of the studies were with combination therapy, so tretinoin plus minoxidil topically. And the only logical explanation, or not the only, but the major logical explanation is because tretinoin, because it can irritate the skin barrier, in part, increase skin cell turnover, and do a few other things, it can increase the absorption of Rogaine or minoxidil. And actually, I think that's a really nice combination. If you're going to use growth factors, this ingredient that actually struggles with absorption, using tretinoin consistently might actually help absorption. Theory crafting. This is not fact, but I think it would actually help absorption, and you might get a benefit from both ingredients, especially the growth factors, which complements tretinoin more. So using penetration enhancers in products, using, like you mentioned, micronizing or nanotechnology, you can actually take these molecules. And again, this is like a chemist thing, but I know you can do this. You take molecules and you can actually encapsulate them in different things to help with absorption, because maybe you get like a fat soluble vehicle or encapsulated sphere, and then this water soluble ingredient can absorb. So that's another way to get around the absorption problem with growth factors. So if that's the case, then yes, those can absolutely work. Let's see what else. Let's see. What to use for body odor? That's a good question. Now, the reason it's a good question is because, and I'm going to put on this Elta Md UV Clear while I answer this question about body odor, is because body odor is from a bacteria typically, but the bacteria is not native, but it's the bacteria that's eating the oils from our skin that makes the odor into like sulfur or ammonia compounds. And so if you decrease the bacteria through the glycolic acid hacks, which is probably too irritating, which is why I'm not a huge fan of that, that could be helpful, and I think it makes most sense for odor, but not antiperspirant, which we talked about in their glycolic acid videos. Or you can use something like benzoyl peroxide washes. That's extremely effective. Hibiclens washes are well tolerated, and you really have to hit the areas that have the highest apocrine gland density: armpits, groin, backside. And then for people who are struggling with odor on the feet, just to kind of be thorough here, where can you see? Not that side. Sorry, it's all mirrored. For people who struggle with foot odor, one thing to consider, especially if you see little pits in it, there's something called pitted keratolysis, and this is from a gram-positive bacteria infection on our skin, and it really makes the odor on the feet much more pungent and extremely strong. So this was UV Clear. This is a combination sunscreen from Elta Md, like a foundational dermatologist recommendation. It's going to blend really well. But anyway, so if it's pitted keratolysis, if you have really bad foot odor, you notice little pits in it, or feel like it's changed recently, see a dermatologist. there are definitely things you can do to get that treated and resolve that issue completely. So Elta Md comes in tinted, non-tinted. This was actually the non-tinted version. So it's going to set and then it's going to blend completely. So it has mineral and non-mineral sunscreen in it. Really, really nice composition. Elta Md always delivers on the experiential side. What dandruff shampoos and conditioners have you recommended? I've tried everything. Nothing seems to work. Please don't say Head and Shoulders. Okay, I won't say Head and Shoulders. So let's actually talk about the ingredients first instead. So dandruff is from a yeast that's on everybody's skin. Malassezia furfur. Actually, is it? I'm sorry. I'm just like, now I've just lost my brain, but that's okay. So it's from a yeast on everybody's skin. And so most of the ingredients are going to target that yeast. Zinc pyrithione is the foundational ingredient in Head and Shoulders, although now there's some crossover of ingredients between brands. That can be helpful. Alternatively, over the counter, you have selenium sulfide. That can be helpful. That's in Seltz Blue. And then, what's that other one? There's another really nice product that has it. I'll find it. But Seltz Blue is the one that typically had selenium sulfide in it. And then another one is ketoconazole, Nizoral shampoo, which has its own benefits. Nizoral, I think, is the most, well, I don't know. They all work for different people, but typically ketoconazole is the most effective ingredient. There's a prescription strength, though, which is stronger than the Nizoral over the counter. The benefit of the Nizoral over the counter, though, it's formulated really nicely for hair and is a little bit gentler on color-treated hair. I also have that, and I have the prescription one at home. So I have the direct comparator, and then from patients, I hear the same thing. The prescription ketoconazole can be drying and strip color from the hair. The over-the-counter one seems to do better at that. And then prescription, cyclopirox can be helpful. You can use salicylic acid. Briogeo. Hold on. They have a really nice combination here. Tea tree oil. I'll plug tea tree oil. Dr. Shah hates it when I do that. But from the evidence, it actually functions really well for antimicrobial purposes. So for the scalp, which is an area that's a little bit more resistant to allergy anyway, it's actually a really good ingredient. I've talked about a few tea tree oil products for the scalp and for the skin as well in that setting. And that's a really nice, deliberate way to use tea tree oil. So there it is. The Charcoal AHA Mega Strength Dandruff Relief Shampoo from Briogeo. And that's very nice because it has the alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, charcoal. Does this one have salicylic acid? I know they have some with salicylic acid. And this can help break down the skin cells. Because if you break down the flake, if the flakes are too scaly, you can't get the ingredients to the scalp. And so, yeah, it does have salicylic acid. Of course, beta hydroxy acids. What am I thinking? So if you break down the scale, then the other active ingredients are going to get to the scalp and everything's going to work better. So that can be helpful as well. So it's kind of a constellation of ingredients. And then topical steroids as a short burst from the dermatologist often can help get it under control more quickly, like just for a week or two. And then maintenance with the ones that are okay for long-term use is a really nice way to kind of rotate things in and get that taken care of. Dandruff is actually kind of surprising because it's something you'd think should be easy to take care of, but and it usually is, but not always. So, all right, I'm gonna answer another question and then let's go shopping. So I'm gonna answer another question and then let's go shopping. The daily green tea toner, I did talk about that already. Okay. Good acne products while pregnant. Good acne products while pregnant. So azelaic acid is the one with the most with the most evidence, and then also with perhaps the most effectiveness, but even then it's modest. So like for someone who's using azelaic acid for acne and that's the only thing they're using and they're like, it's not working for me. I understand that. The time during pregnancy with skincare is very difficult and you're kind of in this maintaining phase as opposed to really treating acne. Like your whole skincare routine during pregnancy is just trying to like survive. And then when you're done, you can kind of get back to the basics after even pregnancy and then breastfeeding. Then you can kind of really get back to your skincare routine. But azelaic acid foundational topical antibiotics have been studied in pregnancy. They were category B when we used the categories. Those are actually probably the most effective and extremely safe option for someone pregnant skin who's using acne or who has acne. Cleansers are controversial. Benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid cleansers, I think are okay. Both the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, at least as of 2 years ago or last year, and the American Academy of Dermatology kind of had a similar stance on their website, said probably okay, but talk to your dermatologist. It's just with pregnancy, not a lot of things are studied. And so that's kind of a foundational thing. So you can use perhaps, talk to your dermatologist, but a topical benzoyl peroxide cleanser, rinse that off, then azelaic acid and topical antibiotics twice a day. And niacinamide can also be used during pregnancy. So that's kind of a foundational thing. Is there sunscreen that doesn't burn the eyes? Not that I know of. Zinc sunscreens, from anecdotal experience, which has been extensive, have been the most gentle, but they're not perfect by any means. So let's see if that worked here. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look. What do you guys want to buy? What do you want to buy? I can see your comments. So let's go shopping. We can buy vitamin C. We can get caffeine. So they're having their sale, Memorial Day sale, 20% off. Dr. LJM gets you the deepest discount. Not a sponsored video here, but I just wanted to partner with somebody because I think it's fun. I want to know what you guys want to try. I like this interaction. And so let's take a look. Let's see what's going on. What is everyone else liking here? Elta Md. Oh, I just tried the couple Elta Mds. UV Clear, foundational ingredient recommendation across the board. Facial cleanser. I actually haven't tried their facial. Their toner off the charts. Elta Md Recovery Toner. Hyaluronic acid can dry the skin. So while I'm shopping, I'll talk about your questions still because I know it's important to you. Eye cream. Oh, vitamin C, eye cream. Okay. But yeah, hyaluronic acid is mostly just a humectant. There's some cell signaling with the lower molecular hyaluronic acid, but mostly it's humectant where it absorbs water from deeper layers in your skin and then can be lost into the environment if you don't come behind it with a moisturizer. So yeah, it can be drying. I actually love hyaluronic acid serums. So sorry, not sorry. I think they functionally can be used deliberately. I love the feel of them. I know they're unpopular right now, but I do love them. Okay, so we're going to go. It looks like the most popular things are vitamin C. Ooh, new Event Retinol. That's a nice one. Tinted Elta Md, so good. They have a lot of different tinted versions like UV Clear. Actually, they have an infinite amount of versions of tinted sunscreen. Elta Md does, so that's good. So we had, looks like vitamin C is the most, and eye creams are the most popular. Which eye creams? That surprises me. So let's go vitamin. All right, whatever. We'll start with vitamin C. We'll start with vitamin C and then we'll pick up some eye creams, okay? What vitamin C should we get? You all are gonna say this one. I know you're gonna say SkinSuticals CE Ferulic. I know it. Caffeine. I love caffeine in skincare. It absorbs so well. It's an easily ingredient to formulate with, and the benefits are minimal. It's not a revolutionary ingredient, but it really does something unique. Perhaps it vasoconstricts, perhaps it decreases swelling, perhaps an antioxidant. I really like caffeine because it's unique, it's novel, easy to absorb. What do y'all see? What should we buy? I have this tulip nectar. I put this one on last video. It was thick like jelly. I have it, don't need it. Not for me. Elta Md UV Physical SPF 41 tinted. Lip balm with sunscreen. Oh, what's the new one? It's oh wait, I can't say. There's a new lip balm with sunscreen I'm coming out with. It has mint in it. I asked them to take it out. They're probably not going to take it out. Was it Paula's Choice? I think has a really nice SPF lip balm. Yeah, the lip screen. As Paula's Choice lip screen SPF 50. That's a really nice one. So I'll just throw that there for that question. SkinSuticals is overpriced and I hate that it's exposed to air. I'm actually going to do a SkinSuticals video. I'll probably put it up next week. I was thinking about that. That's the most common question I get about SkinSuticals. Is it worth the money? And it's not a short answer. So I'm going to make a video on that on Instagram. Where's my teacher? Yeah, he is my teacher. I think he's in France again. But usually he doesn't do the lives with me. He does sometimes, but not always. But that might change. Dr. Dennis Gross Vitamin C. That's a good one. Tetrahexyl decyl ascorbate. This is a form of vitamin C. I'm answering a question here. That was the question. It's okay. So the question with most vitamin C's are, does it work? L-ascorbic has the most evidence. And is clinical. Someone said is clinical. All right, select. I don't want a quick buy. Can I just add it to my cart? But tetrahexyldecylascorbate has not really been studied alone. I know it works as an antioxidant. It, like all other vitamin C's, continue shopping, is elevated by other antioxidants. So it's okay. It's okay. I'm a big fan of ethyl ascorbic acid, though, personally. And, of course, L-ascorbic acid. Is vitamin A retinol? Retinol is a synthetic form of vitamin A, so it's kind of flipped around. Answering questions as I shop. The seborrheic dermatitis on the face, you can use a ketoconazole cream. My conazole cream over the counter is an amazing hack. That's a hack. Gave it to you straight. Also, you can use dandruff shampoos on the face, too. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of eye creams. We'll flip over to eye creams in here as well. What other vitamin C's did you put out there? I got the Is Clinical one that someone put out. Oh, does castor oil work on lashes? Castor oil. Oh my gosh. Castor oil needs to go away. It's just one of those ingredients that there's just like no data on, and it won't go away. I really want castor oil to stop. I just got banana. Let's see here. Is that in here? No, I don't see it. Okay. All right. Any other vitamin C's? I'm going to move on here. Vitamin C doesn't mix well with soap-based cleansers. Perhaps not. I'm not sure about that in particular. But I mean, why would you be mixing it anyway? Like, your soap-based cleanser should be rinsed off by the time you're doing your vitamin C. Is the Indeed vitamin C any good? Is that on here? I don't think I see it. All right, let me just pick a couple here. Caudalie, that's a nice brand. Their mask wasn't for me, but it's a nice brand. The Ordinary, Ascorbic. What else we got? Oh, here's an eye cream. Oh, this is a good eye cream. Let's get this eye cream. You all want eye creams. We're in the vitamin C's. This eye cream must have vitamin C. Skin Medica Instant Bright Eye Cream. You know what else we need to get? Let's see if they have it. Let's see if they have that. I want to see if they have the Peter Thomas Roth eye cream. I don't have that. I ordered it, and I don't know where it is. Those actually work in a really unique way. I have this Ren one. Ren is pretty nice. Very budget-friendly, too. Wait, there's one. Astex. This one is actually, packaging is beautiful. This Strivectin Super C Retinol Brighten. And I love the combination of retinol and vitamin C to consolidate steps, because you can use vitamin C morning and night. That's perfectly fine. Holy cow, 15 pages. God bless. Okay. All right. I'm kind of bored with this page now. Let's see what else we got. All right, we're going to go. Ooh, is that a vitamin C in it? Nah, really? Huh. Oh, wait, I saw something I want. Where'd it go? I don't have this. I don't have the Ordinary ethyl ascorbic acid. I have to have it. I love ethyl ascorbic acid. I don't have that. Why don't I have that? Okay, eye creams. We're on shop. Skincare, eyeballs. All right, let's see. Oh, dermatology needleless serum is so good. So the question here is, can I use dermatology needleless serum and retinols in the same routine? Absolutely. Peptides, dermatology needleless serum has a lot of those in it, and retinols complement each other and retinol complements each other so well. Works to talk about so well. Okay, let me just. Is there any way I can get 500 results on one page? Let's see. Peter Thomas Roth. So someone asked, what's this Peter Thomas Roth thing I'm talking about? Peter Thomas Roth has this, what is it called? Is it a firming eye cream? Is that what it's called? Instant Fix? Hold on. Instant Firmex treatments. I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, this. So this is these silicates. It's the same thing as that viral. This was the viral one, the one where it sucks up the festoons or the eye bags under the eyes. And there's a couple more, one from Westmore. It came out with a version of it. If you want a review of that, you can check out Dr. Dre's video on it. But they work. They're actually functionally unique and they dry, and it tightens the skin under the eyes. And that's why I like them, is they actually deliver. Like sometimes if you put on too thick of a layer, they're scaly, crusty. They can be a little bit drying. But, you know, they're doing something. They're actually functionally doing something, and eye serums don't often deliver. So that's cool. Does diet affect the skin in any way? It does. It's just hard to quantify. It's extremely hard to quantify. I have this eye contour serum. That's nice. Diet is just, it's really hard to study. And I think that's where it falls short. I personally actually believe that diet, let's get this lash serum. We need to talk about lashes. Diet is extremely important for our overall health, like insanely so. I'm actually doing this intermittent fasting thing. That didn't do a whole lot for me, but I'm also now not eating any simple carbs or anything high glycemic, or any carbs or high glycemic index Monday through Friday. Diet is extremely important. I can't emphasize that enough for your overall health and for even your skin. But it's just, there's not a lot of data, so we don't talk about it much because there's nothing to talk about objectively. What brand would you recommend for a kid with oily skin? The La Roche-Posay matte moisturizer, amazing for oily skin, insanely good. So I would recommend that. Gentle, inexpensive, and it's great. Let's see here. Okay, fine. I'll do that. 5-star had a bright idea. Well, I did. I typed Peter. He said use a search bar instead of scrolling the page. So I used the search bar for Peter Thomas Roth, and didn't have it. So now I'm just scrolling, looking at things if I haven't tried it, seeing what's there. And I want your recommendations. If you see something that looks good, okay, let's see. What do they have for Kate Somerville? Do they have her eye cream? Did I type this right? What do they have? You tell me what to search for. I'll look for it. Did I spell that wrong? Oh, yeah, I did. Not seeing it. No, I don't think they have that. Copper peptides are good. I like copper peptides. They have a good amount of evidence. They're very gentle. Obagi. Someone asked for Obagi. What do you have? What do you have in Obagi? SkinStore. A lot. Okay. Let's shop Obagi. Oh. So this is an interesting thing. Let me try their toner. They, medical grade, clinical grade skincare, things that were traditionally sold out of doctors and dermatologists' office. You know, the evidence behind that, there's no clear distinction. What's medical grade, what's over the counter. It's the same thing. So I don't have a strong opinion on that. But I do find that, like, look, medical professional, whatever, that means nothing. But this is a very quality brand. So just don't fall for that. But it is a very quality brand. And oftentimes brands like that do publish data. Let's see here. Ooh, someone had a banana for breakfast. Thank you for sharing. Biossance squalane. Okay, that's great. Castor oil for lashes. I don't believe in it. Castor oil just in general has no studies. There's so many good oils out there. There's so many good oils. Castor oil is just like not one of them. All right. Yeah, I know the Obagi line's no longer owned. So yeah, let's check Zoe. Oh, let's check Zoe. They have some really good really interesting products. Also very expensive. No. Okay. No, we lost. Tripolar has some really good devices. I have those. Silk pillowcase. Should we get a silk pillowcase? What do you guys think about silk pillowcases? Sorry, I'm taking a look at the questions while we're also doing this. Face wash. Okay, we're going to get a silk pillowcase. Silk is interesting. Silk is a very interesting ingredient. Color. Let's be over the top. Let's get red. Olaplex. I do like Olaplex. That I don't know how that controversy is going to play out, but I really like it. Ooh, SkinCeuticals Triple Lipid Restore. This is amazing. Wow, we're working up a budget here. We might have to. Oh, number 7 peptides. That's a good one. So yeah, this is a new novel peptide. Number 7 is a brand that I think blew onto the scene. I really like their product. It's really good. And they're very straightforward. Their new peptide is supposed to be groundbreaking. Honestly, you need to look into it. I don't want to speak to it too much because I don't have a strong opinion. I do believe it's beneficial. I just don't want to anchor everything to it at the moment. But it's good, and the retinol is very good. Yes, silk. Okay, got silk. Got red. Got it. Latisse is good. So question, I use Latisse. Latisse for eyelashes is very good. It delivers. It's a phosphodiesterase analog, and it can be helpful. Like any ingredient, it can be helpful. It cannot. There are some downsides to it, but it does work very consistently for people. It can actually turn your eyelashes. I think Latisse is bimatoprost. Turn your eye color darker if you have light eyes. So it's actually a real thing. You have to be careful with that. Copper peptides used with vitamin C or retinol. Copper peptides with retinol, yes. Copper peptides and vitamin C, I'd say no. Okay. Let's see. Olaplex dupe is Tresemme hair oil. Yep, that's Tresemme. Yeah, they have some good products too. What ingredients to avoid under 18? Most of those are going to be oral. But 18. So the thing is, the body, even though like the societal adult age is 18, physiologically it's more of a gradient. I do love some Zoe skincare. I do love some elastin. Oh yeah, let me see if they have elastin. So a lot of times you'll see studies. So like even with retinoids, you'll see that, man, no elastin? Come on. You'll see that retinoids and tretinoin can be prescribed down to 9 with acne. But truthfully, we use it off label in different situations for different conditions. So it's all a gradient. And like 18 is not really a hard, fast rule necessarily, unless it's prescription and been studied. So it's kind of a hard thing to do. For younger children, some ingredients, like while their bones are maturing, are not a good option. But really, that 18 is kind of an arbitrary cutoff. Which elastin product? I have some elastin products. I actually do like some of the elastin products. I use their recovery serum, the elastin recovery serum after microneedling. It's good. Oh, Maylove is so good. So I'm just like looking at your list and questions while I'm shopping here. I'm gonna have to hop off in a second. Maylove is really nice. I really love Maylove. I haven't heard much about them this year. They had a huge stuff going on last year, but not much this year. So I bought a vitamin C eye serum. Irritated my skin. That's a problem with vitamin C, is it can be irritating. So around the eyes, sensitive skin, it's going to work for some people. It's not going to work for others. 15% concentration is kind of standard, but you could probably go lower and still get some benefit. Sunscreen that won't leave any residue in my beard. Yep, I would go with Korean sunscreens. I've been trying sunscreens all video long. See if I have another Korean sunscreen just to drive the point home within reach. But Korean sunscreens are incredible. They don't leave a residue. And here's another one. I have like a few. This is a messy room, but this one's the Can Make. But for example, and I do have some facial hair right now, give like a nice thick layer and I'll put it on for you. These will work great. Maylove Vitamin C recommended Glow Maker. Yeah, I love Glow Maker. It's great. You know what I also love from Maylove is their Fade Away Dark Spot Serum. So good. Let's see if I can zoom in here. What happens? No, that makes the screen bigger. But Korean sunscreens are very beard friendly. So gentle, so lightweight, so hydrating. You don't feel like anything's on your skin. Okay, I did a rosacea thing. Okay, so we're going to have someone timestamp this. I'm going to timestamp this and when we get off. So you can go back to the rosacea portion of this and we'll talk about that. 10% glycolic acid. Dennis Gross, we'll go back to that and then I'll probably hop off. Let's see what Dr. Dennis Gross has. These peeling solution, very effective. Can be irritating. Alcohol is I think it's also high in alcohol and very fragrant. But if you're just erring on effectiveness, do it. That's a very strong exfoliant. You were saying the vitamin C. Yeah, here it's that in the orange. This one's in the orange. I like these products. They're all fragranced. That's fine. Yeah, I talk to my patients a lot about Asian sunscreen, actually. The problem is just hard to get. It's hard because a lot of them are just like, I hate sunscreen. It feels terrible. And they're not in environments where they need water resistant sunscreens, because there are not a lot of water resistant Asian sunscreens. But it's hard to getting certain demographics and older populations onto Stylevana or something to get them. But I wish they were more accessible here in the US. They please need to be. They're incredible. Yeah, and that's the thing. Beauty Joseon said, this person said it broke them out, and that's okay. Any ingredient can be a problem for any person. So, you know, you're going to always have to tailor and personalize your routine to you. And is Skin Better Science good? It is good. Deodorant antiperspirant for 9-year-olds. A lot of good options. You know, I don't have a problem with aluminum in deodorants. So, I mean, I think it's actually fairly easy. It can be an allergen, though. It was the allergen of the year last year in 2021. Wait, what was last year? 2022. And if you need if you want a non-aluminum one, ThinkSport has a very budget-friendly magnesium deodorant that actually works really well. I've worn that for a month on end, no problems. And then the other one, though, that I actually think is really good, a little bit more expensive, not too bad, is the Biossance magnesium squalene deodorant. That works pretty well for me, and I'm a pretty active person, so that one also is really gentle. That one has cosmetically goes on a little better because of the squalene base. So, okay, everybody, I need to hop off. I still have a lot of work to do today. I did fill up our cart, so I'll purchase some of these things, and we'll try them out next time. Again, that's kind of the point of this. If you want me to buy any other products, actually, you can leave them in the comments. If you want me to buy products, leave them in the comments. I've been doing a ton of this. I'm buying viral products. We got more viral videos coming out about products I've bought, just because I want to test things for you. I want to save you money or tell you when something's worth to buy. So you can add it to the comments, and I'll also purchase it there. So I won't sign this little shopping cart out just yet. Actually, let me switch back to the real camera here. So we'll call it here. Again, I got to hop off. It's Saturday. I'm still working. Got a lot of work to do. But thank you so much for being a part of this. Again, this will be time-stamped. We'll be working on that. And then you can kind of float through this. When is it going to be time-stamped? It actually is going to take like an hour. As long as I shot this video, it takes as long or longer to timestamp. So bear with me. It's going to take a day or two to timestamp this thing. But anyway, appreciate you all. Thank you for spending your weekend with me. I greatly appreciate it. It's a blast. I've washed 20 sunscreens off my face. My skin is dead, but I did it for you. So have a great weekend. And as always, thanks for being a part of this journey, and enjoy your time off if you've got it.